Alright, so instead of opting for a regular RV toilet, black tank scenario, we're going to go with a composting toilet. We've seen a lot of people move to this, and they've said that they've wish they had gone to do this sooner because they've saved a lot of time and energy dealing with black tank issues and having to spend time traveling to and from black tank removal locations. So we picked a company that seemed to be pretty heavily into the market right now. So we're going to unbox this, we're going to see what it looks like, and then we're going to go ahead and get this thing set up. So we also wanted to make sure that we're thinking about the environment too. So I think by not having to deal with a lot of waste, and we're going to be doing it in a more eco-friendly way. Will take a little bit of a learning curve, yeah, but most people get used to those things pretty quickly. We just have to have the patience to do it. So let's unbox this. So for our composting toilet project, I'm working on installing the vent today. This is the exhaust vent that's going to come from the composting toilet. Now, the wisest thing to do is to read the instruction manual because there's so many details when it comes to doing any sort of project like this. So what I did was I got all the tools that I needed and all the pieces that I needed to get this project done. So we have the exhaust vent that we're actually going to need to do the project. I got the mushroom vent. So this goes on the outside of the rig, and this is going to make sure that no bugs or anything get in. This is the interior flange that's actually going to hook onto this, and then this is going to be on the opposite side of this, on the opposite side of the wall. So I needed to get screws for the mushroom vent because the mushroom vent did not have them in the package. So that's just knowledge for anybody who's getting this for a nature side composting toilet. They don't include screws if you want this. Silicone, so that way we can silicone this down and this down. So I'm using screws and silicone in combination for this, just so that way it doesn't move. 1.5 inch hole saw, so that way we can drill the hole at the correct size that they need for this, which is what the instructions say. And then a caulking gun, and then obviously you need a drill in order to use the hole saw. So we're going to go ahead and measure out the hole so we make sure we're 100%, and then we'll get started. Okay, so right here is our fresh water tank, and right above us is where the toilet is going to be. It's the toilet room. Black water tank and I think gray water tank are both right here. So I've already pre-drilled the hole for the exhaust vent tube that's going to come through here through the floor. So it was a 2-inch hole, and I have to fill in around it a little bit just to make sure that it's insulated and so no bugs get in. So the hole is prepped. Now, depending on your coach or your RV, you may already have pre-drilled holes in your walls here to run cables or any sort of piping in your rig. So this particular motorhome had some already pre-drilled, which was nice. They just had a little bit of silicone around it. So I just need to pull that off. So now I just need to expand the hole just a little bit more, so that way I can get the vent flange in and the other piece on the other side on. So that's going to be the next step. Alright, wherever you drill, just be very careful. I can't get the drill in from this angle, so I'm going in from the other side. I don't want to put a hole in my water tank. That'd be an expensive fix. Okay, I'm realizing that I'm not going to be able to use that hole because there's a bowl right next to it. So I've got to drill another hole. I just realized I don't need to drill a hole. I think I can make that work. It just needs to vent, and that's it. There's already a hole here. It's not perfectly lined up, but to save me time and headache, I think I'm good. Well, my guesstimation was still wrong. I've got to drill a hole because there's a bolt just about a ½ an inch too close to get this flange on. So now I have to actually drill and make a proper hole. Alright, running into roadblock after roadblock. So the hole that I was going to use, I can't use because the flange doesn't fit the perimeter. There's a screw that's hanging down through the motorhome, and it's getting in the way of me putting the flange down. So I went to screw another hole, and it's all steel, and I don't have equipment to drill through steel. So by using the existing hole, so I'm getting creative. So I have this spare drain from the bathroom sink that I'm not using because of the color that I'm going to use that will fit, and I'm able to use this flange on the inside, and all I need to do is do this, and it fits perfectly because it's the right size. And then I'm just going to get old screen material and a rubber band, and I'm going to put it over it. And the whole point of this is to exhaust the composting toilet and to keep bugs out. The whole point of it. So I have to return the vent that I bought, and I just saved myself $70 by doing that. But I'm going to be using this. So this will be a homemade remedy for it instead. Alright, as you can see, there's the old drain from the bathroom. This is actually underneath in the wheel well. And this, which is now connected to the vent for the composting toilet. Here is the flange, and I just went ahead and sealed it. And then this is the tubing that goes to the toilet. And inside there's a tiny bit of steel, extra fine steel wool to act as a filter, and that'll keep out all the little bugs and the rodents and all that stuff. Alright, so as you can see, I've got the bath area ready to go, or the toilet area ready to go. So I've laid flooring in here, and I've cut a hole for the black tank and plugged it. And the reason I went this route was because I want to make sure that when we sell in the future, that if people don't want to go with a composting toilet, it's very simple. They can actually just pull the plug and be able to go ahead and hook up a toilet. I've even left the lines intact so that way they can. I've just sealed this up so that way no water comes through here. So I left the original line from the manufacturer in here for a regular toilet so that way they can if they want to. So now, in order to hide all of this here, I've created some wood pieces that are modular, so that way you can pull them out when you're ready to move on to the next stage, meaning that if you want to put in a regular toilet, you can. I've also made it easy for myself too, in case I need to get to this piping, or I need to get in here for any reason. So there's going to be no screws involved, so I'll show you what I did. So the first piece I put together is going to cover the plug, like so. There we go. Just so it's nice and snug in. Hits all corners, and I'm able to snake the hose out. The second piece I created is going to cover all the plumbing right here, like so. So it covers that. And then the third piece covers it right here. So all I need to do is just set this in like this. Down it goes. And it sits in snugly right here. So this is not going anywhere. So I've got 3 pieces in, they're modular. And then a composting toilet, which I'm going to do to get locked down today. Go right here. As you can see, as I block the camera view, we'll go right here. And there you go, there's your exhaust fan. As you can see, it easily goes on, and you can still rotate. So that way you can sift all of the composting material right there. So now I have these 3 pieces. I have all the space over here. We have the ability to do wash. So I have a portable, it's a very simple washer for clothes. So we're gonna give this a spin, no pun intended. It's made by Basecamp, and we're gonna try this out when we're on the road. But now that we've given a lot of space back to the rig area, so we've given a lot of space back to the rig area by using this, by putting the toilet here. The door still closes, so all is good. So all I need to do now is just get this bolted down to the floor, and we're good to go. So in order to get power hooked up into here, I had to run right through the plumbing hole that runs along the side of the coach, and then I had to run the power underneath here, 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 and all the way through here, all the way into the back. Back here, the red cable right there, that is the positive end. The black cable with it is the negative end, and where you see that foam, that's where I ran the power down into underneath the coach in order to hook up the batteries for the composting toilet. Alright, so I've went ahead and hooked up the positive end to the composting toilet here, and then if I can get in, and I've hooked up the negative. You can see that little yellow speck right there. I tapped in, well, I hooked up to another grounding there. So let's go test it out, see if it works. Alright, moment of truth. I've got power hooked up underneath the rig. So let's see if the fan works. Oh, that is a great sound. I can hear it. So after weeks of trying to figure out how to get it done, I finally got it done. Alrighty, moving on. Okay, so I'm drilling into the floor for the composting toilet. So I've measured out around the brackets per their instructions, and I'm only drilling through the flooring and not the actual floor. just so that way there's just pilot holes. I'm going to let the screws do the rest of the work drilling into the flooring, just so that way I'm not drilling too far into the flooring with a bit, because I probably won't hit anything. I just want to make sure that I'm safe. So I've gotten this one done, and I'm going to do this one next. So always measure quite a bit just to make sure you do something like this, so that way you don't have to make more holes than you need to. Wow, perfect fit. Yep, perfect fit. Alright, I'm just going to attach the vent hose back up. So the mounting screw goes into the floor, but you have to lift the toilet up just a smidge. The toilet needs to go up just a smidge in order to lock it in. Like a 16th or 32nd of an inch needs to go up just a bit. Okay, that's back. That doesn't hit. Power back in. Toilet project is complete.